And now, like I said, Mike is the major domo for the Citizens Action Network, a group which I think, Mike, it's what, 65,000 members, isn't it?
We're up to 72 grand already.
Oh, really? Wow. And well, for those not familiar, wow, that's pretty tremendous, and that's in all 50 states, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we've started international pages too, and those are starting to take off already too.
And what areas, for those not familiar with it, do y'all highlight? What is your emphasis?
Monsanto, corruption in the government, the bankers, anything that exposes corruption or tyranny against the people, things like that.
Well, this is just the show for you. It's just it's the stuff that I mean, you have to be brain dead not to see some of these issues. And I followed some of your postings. You have an excellent Facebook presence, and I was thinking, boy, I've got to have these guys on. I mean, the Monsanto thing, Mike, is really a much greater issue than people, just appreciate. I mean, genetically modified crops is, it came to my attention here about a year ago. What happened was Texas A&M was fooling around with some of them. And what it was some kind of a modified grass product. And, Mike, what it did, it emitted cyanide, and it killed a whole herd of cows right down on the Texas A&M property down there. And I'm thinking, oh, boy, what are they letting loose? And this really happened. And I'm thinking, and, of course, subsequent to that, I've heard, quite a few other issues. This is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't realizing what's going on around them. And one of the things about Monsanto food that they say that they make it so it's pesticide resistant or something like that, or if the bugs eat it, it'll burst their stomachs. But they say it's safe for people, and it's not. If people think about it, that's why everybody's on Prilosec and all these stomach pills and things like that, is because you're eating a lot more Monsanto food than you realize when you go out to restaurants and fast food places and things like that.
Yeah, it seems so. And I guess that there was some piece they did have on CBS about, a couple of weeks ago. And there was, I forget what state it was. It was a Midwestern state, whether it was Iowa or Illinois, I'm not certain which. But they highlighted some genetic crops. And upon investigation, 15 or 20% of this farmer's field was full of genetically modified crops that emanated from Monsanto, and they had to destroy the field.
Yeah.
And it was quite a big issue, and of course Monsanto says they don't know how they got there, and this and that, and this and that, but it was the gene that Monsanto had, I guess, patented or done research on. And this is getting to be quite if this stuff gets in our whole agricultural system, we're ruined.
Yeah, once it starts getting into the ecosystem, that's where the big danger is, because they haven't released any of the studies on Monsanto genetically modified produce, and they have admitted that the effects on the environment are unknown, but it could devastate the ecosystem.
Oh, yeah, I know, just in a smaller fashion, not at all as serious a scale as we're talking about, but I know, mostly I'm from up in the Northeast, but in Florida, everything grows down there because of the, favorable climate, and people would let loose different pets like, believe it or not, boa constrictors and stuff, and they'd start breeding like mad out there, and now Florida's just crazy run over with boa constrictors. And, various creatures will get loose in that ecosystem down there, and I think some awful fish, I don't know, some Japanese fighting fish or some kind of miserable, rough thing got loose down there. Now that's it's just a squirt. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're talking about that, it's a snakehead or something like that?
Yeah, that's it. And some real miserable, rough fish and eel-dash fish. In other words, and this is just baby stuff compared to what we're talking about in Monsanto. This could ruin, I don't know, I guess the the GMO crops are more hardy or something, or would predominate over the native species, take them over, and I mean, this is like playing God here.
Yeah, yeah. They said that the GMO stuff will hybridize the heirloom stuff that's planted, and turn it all GMO.
I know it. I know it. Now that's a scary thing, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I read a news piece, perhaps 5-6 weeks ago, and somehow the Senate or Congress in general had given Monsanto an exemption to not be under their control, or some such related story. Are you familiar with that?
I know what you're talking, not offhand, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I guess they paid off so many guys. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, there's two of the top guys from Monsanto, corporate or legal or something, are in the government. One of them runs the FDA, and then Obama just appointed the other one to the USDA or something like that, and it's something to do with merging Monsanto with the FDA.
Good Lord. You talk about being in bed with somebody, that's going crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they must have big buckets of money they spread around up there.
Monsanto does, yeah.
Oh, golly. Well,
do you know the ultimate purpose of genetically modified food?
No, not really.
It's to starve the host with a full belly, but giving no nutritional value.
Really? Well, I don't know what I was wondering what the whole stated purpose in theory was to, well, in theory, to make it hardier, to grow better, or something like that. But I'm always suspicious of what the real motives are.
Yeah, it's always greed.
Yeah, you could pretty well hang on greed. But but does it seem that Monsanto essentially is trying to control the world's food supply? I mean, that's the real underlying issue, isn't it?
Yeah. He who controls the food controls the people.
Right. I know and people will think that are not familiar with this topic. They'll think that we're being extremists or wackos, maybe conspiracy nuts, if you will. But all this stuff, people, is true. I mean, it's as clear as the nose on your face. This is real stuff. And
I was labeled a conspiracy theorist till people started looking into what I was researching and telling them.
Yeah.
And then they started waking up to it too, because it's just massive and it's right there in front of us, and that's why it's just too easy to see, so nobody believes it.
Yeah, it's hiding in plain sight. It really is. And Mike, I just can't believe that they have so much. Well, I mean, I obviously have to believe, but it's just hard to believe they have so much power. The corrupt Congress has actually said, supervise yourself, boys. I mean, that's power.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, the same thing happened with the creation of the Fed in 1913. I was reading that Woodrow Wilson was elected through fraud to create the Fed, and that he deleted the Banking Oversight Committee so the Fed could create their own laws.
Wow. Yeah,
so
I guess
they got money, and now they got food.
Wow. Yeah, this is yes, I guess that is a good comparison. It really is, because the Fed, of course, is a crooked format, and it's been alleged, and I can't prove it because I don't have the documents or I wasn't privy to anything, but it's been alleged that that's what really got Kennedy killed, was issuing silver certificates. And I know what was that? Ron Paul, the elderly presidential candidate, was wanting to run on a end the Fed basis. At least he highlighted some things relative to it.
He always kind of does in a like under his breath kind of thing. He's never come out on TV and said, "Look, America, wake up, fix this or you're screwed."
Right.
They always end up as the politician before anything else. In the end.
Well, yeah, I know, and he's always hanging out on a branch by himself usually, and I guess that makes kind of a difficult thing for him. But at least he has highlighted it some. And there was something. I also had another news piece. See, your group is just completely perfect for this show because all the issues you cover are issues that I cover in this show, and oh, and by the way, not many hosts do cover these things. Alex Jones will some, but not too many do, and I think, Mike, it's for fear of reprisal, and there is such a thing as a discrimination in broadcasting, where if you depart too much from the norm, shows frequently don't want to carry you. Radio stations don't really want to carry you.
Yeah,
because it's more tightly controlled than you'd think.
You have to meet commercial standards or commercialized standards.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, for example, the Inception Radio Network that I'm part of, it used to carry a fellow named Donahue that was a liberal broadcaster, and he's well known in the trade, if you will, for having been persecuted for his liberal commentary.
Is that Phil?
No, it's not Phil. It's Tom or something like that. But I mean, this guy was a smaller potatoes guy than Phil Donahue from years ago. But this guy was a broadcaster of some note, and enough to be, subject of persecution. And that's exactly